Well, it's taken some time. This man is the busiest man in the world. But we finally made it.
By hook or by crook?
Oh, hook.
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 Yeah. There's a hook.
Probably a month later than we had planned.
Yeah. But the most important thing is we are back.
Yay! Episode 1, Season 2. Let's go straight into the funky new intro. We're using Honeyfield again.
We're back at the place I seem to... Well, I might as well just get on my post delivered here because I seem to live here.
Yeah. So first of all, thanks to the guys for letting us use one of the rooms. But you'll notice this year that we're trying to use one base only and probably not... This is very cryptic. Probably not here for too long.
No.
But we're going to be based here for the first 4 episodes.
Yep.
Just for logistical reasons, because if it's anywhere else in the country, then I can't physically get hold of Charlie. Not physically get hold, but you know what I mean.
See how it goes.
Yeah. And it's just easier, isn't it? So we're going to be using the base. And yeah, we had planned to start in April. Now we're in May. So this episode's going out on the 12th of May. So welcome to everybody back to the podcast. Our plan is to do one a week.
Yep.
Until September-ish.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We're going to be very fluid, I think. As much as I know that you don't like things being fluid. Andy likes things very organised and to the letter, whereas I live my life day by day.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think about September time. I think last time that worked well. And it works with your other commitments as well. So, yeah.
Well, I think also I'm very keen to make this podcast really go this year, as you are. And it needs you guys to help. Because last year we had a really good uptake, and it was cool to have guests such as Tom, Dan. Who else did we have on?
We had
Tom Moyer.
Dan, Tom Moyer. We had... I feel like we had others. Maybe not. Maybe that was it.
Did we?
I felt like we had more than that.
It'll come to
maybe
us
not.
Yeah. So we plan to have a few guests on. We've got several lined up already, which is cool. And perhaps people that you're not too aware of, and some people that you are very aware of.
Yeah.
So we'll have a few guests coming on. We're going to be looking at all sorts of things lure related.
Yep.
We need you guys to send us in lures, suggestions of stuff you want us to look at. We had a nice uptake last year. We had Wayne's custom made lures, so that was cool. I've still got those.
Yep.
And still haven't been bass fishing with them.
No. With all these plans and things to do that we never get around to do.
I know, yeah. And then, of course, the twins sent us in that dragonfly.
Oh, yeah, which you did use.
I did, which I stole off you, which stunk of garlic, which they had infused in a garlic beforehand. And, I did use it. Yeah. And there's no red light on that camera.
That means it's not recording.
1 second. Oh.
Houston, we have a problem.
Minor interlude whilst we find the initial episode 1 gremlins. But
we're using different cameras, and I thought the camera is working, So I used the twins lure, which was supposed to be sharesy, but I stole from you, Charlie. And I had a chub on it instantly. Yeah. It was incredible.
Well, I think you earned it then.
Oh, yeah. Oh, my God, it worked. It worked. It worked. Just left him in the water. Lucky he didn't come out the net. What a pristine chub. Never thought that was going to happen on that lure, but wow, look at that.
I think that's fair.
That's good, yeah. So plans for this year. Once we get to episode 5, hopefully we can unveil a few secrets.
There is a lot going on behind the scenes that we're trying to keep between our lips for now. But it's difficult because if anyone knows me, I'm one of the biggest gossips going. It's very hard for me to keep my mouth shut, but I'm doing my very best. So there might be some bits of this we have to edit out where I've said something I'm not meant to, but you'll never know that. So
yeah, so things will be progressing quite nicely,
yes,
won't they?
Yeah, all new, all different. There'll be a lot of things that happen in this year's podcast that didn't in the last, and we're trying to move forward, trying to progress and grow and do something different, and hopefully engage with a whole new audience as well as the audience we had following us last year.
That's right, yeah. And we'll also at times we need people to help us.
Yeah,
literally with the tech. So. When we change locations, again, very cryptic, we'll be putting out some Facebook posts. And if you've got a spare day, we will definitely need at least one person to help.
We need a spare pair of hands for certain things. So, anyone who's interested in being involved with the podcast and things we do, please make yourselves known because we will definitely need an arsenal Arsenal. Arsenal of people to call on for certain things, and it's all to do with. I'll stop there. Because I'm going to say too much.
Yeah, but see, keep an eye on the Facebook post, because also this year as well, something I didn't do last year. Last year, you noticed we didn't publicise the videos of the podcast at all. We did that on purpose to try and promote the interest just through YouTube, and we felt it didn't work very well.
No, so we it's all very tactical and boring. And if you go into the back end of YouTube and trying to learn it, there's certain tactics you use and certain things you not meant to do. So we tried to let it do its thing organically, which it worked to an extent. It was very new, you know. So, but this year we're going to do the absolute opposite, and we're going to shove it down your throats. So everywhere you look this year will be the lure fishing podcast.
Yeah, we're going to go the complete opposite, aren't we?
Yeah.
So there'll be lots of coverage going on, and we are going to bore everybody sensitive.
Unashamedly.
Totally, yeah.
Ram it down everyone's throats.
We're going to apologise once, and that'll be now.
Yeah, that's it. We've done our apology for the year.
Yeah, apart from that, yeah, it's just going to get insanely silly, but you'll see why. It'd be good.
Yeah.
What have you been up to? Let's just backtrack. So we had the last episode September time.
Yeah.
Well, it was the live, wasn't it?
It was the live where we had Tom and Dan on at the same time, wasn't it?
Tom Moyer.
Oh, and Tom Moyer was with us,
sat with us, and we had Dan and Tom
remotely, yeah. So that was the last thing we did for the season. What did I do since then? So I worked more here, basically. I was here a lot. We had a lot of things going on. We had our usual quiet over the close season. So our close season ends we finish at the end of November. Usually, Hanleyfield doesn't open for fishing again until March, but due to some things we've done in the background, we got it open in February for predator fishing only. So for the first time ever, it's never been done at Hanleyfield in the history of it being a fishing venue, has it ever been open in February. But we managed to put some things through, and we got it going. As it turns out, the fishing was tough, to put it lightly, but it was progression. It's a good thing for the venue that it's recognising, and there was lots of people coming from all over the country, which was really good. And the fishing, besides that, it was nice to see the support of the anglers all the way through the month of February. It was cold and horrible and rainy and windy and pretty miserable, and people still came, so that was lovely. So that was the beginning of the season, and then the main season kicked off here, and it was carnage, as you could expect. And then the couple of highlights we had was not strictly lure fishing related, but we had Fly Fest, which you visited for.
Yeah, that was good, wasn't it?
Was a fly fishing only weekend where we had some brands here doing some bits. We had some guys doing some casting demos and some tying demos. And me and you went out and tried to catch one of these monsters. So we put in 1,000 double figure rainbow trout just for the event, which, I mean, it's a bold claim to make, but I doubt it's ever been done before on a large reservoir on that scale, putting that many big fish in one go, with the idea of people coming here on the flyer and absolutely obliterating PBs, which you did within the first 40 minutes.
40 minutes, yeah.
What was it, 15?
15 and a half, wasn't
15
it?
and a half, which is
crazy.
An insanely big rainbow, And I had
it
one.
Towed the boat.
Yeah, literally, the boat was getting towed up and down the reservoir. It was beautiful.
It was funny.
And then, very satisfyingly, I caught one of 11 pound 12.
Well, you're not told the story quite right. We had that big one, didn't we?
Yeah. Oh, yes.
Then you had one that was nearly 10.
Yeah.
That you unhooked it in the net to get it straight back.
Yeah.
I had another one that was probably nearly 10.
Yeah.
That we unhooked in the net to get straight back.
That's right.
Then we came in,
Had a coffee.
chilled out,
Yeah.
went back out, saw some trout rising on. You could catch a more traditional gear, which we didn't have set up, and we were going big, bold, and Gary, weren't we?
Yeah.
And then you had your PB as well.
I had my PB, which was 11 pound 12, which very satisfyingly is a new Ranger record for Hanleyfield by only 4 ounces. So yeah,
And that beats the bosses.
yeah. My boss Will, who had the record previously, 11.8.
And it's not true that he's sulked for the rest of the day.
Rest of the day is a bit of an understatement. He's still sulking now. But again, thanks goes to Will. It was most of Fly Fest was Will's doing, so it's a good thing that he's got the passion for it and he's pushing these events at Hanleyfield. Because historically Hanleyfield was the premier fly fishery or fly trout fishery in the country. And it fell off a little bit in over the past. I think everyone can sort of agree to that. But the current team we have now, like with myself and Will, especially at the forefront of it, backed up by the guys, that the fantastic team we have here, it's only going up, and it's a good thing for trout fishing in general, and just for fishing in the area. We had a lot of people at Fly Fest and during the predator season who had never fished a reservoir. You know, they might fish small still waters and rivers and things like that. And it's good for these people to get involved with it and introduce themselves to it and get things going.
Yeah, we were here. I was going off to Chew, wasn't I? We were here for such a short period of time in the day, and it was a bit frantic, but it was great. The atmosphere was fantastic.
Really
And
nice.
You had two of the enforcement officers from the EA.
EA were here.
Yeah, Al Thompson and
Tom Baird.
Yep, they gave up their own time to do that as well. You had Charles Jardine. You had several other guests throughout the 3 days.
The guys
as well.
from Vicuna Dubbin were here doing some tie-in. They came in right at the last minute, saved our arse a little bit because we had some people drop out. And they were fantastic, really, really, really nice guys. So again, thanks to everyone that made that event possible. And next year, due to the success of this year, it's going to be bigger.
Yeah.
It's going to be better. There's going to be more going on. I don't want to harp on it too much because this is the lure fishing podcast. It doesn't really have the same ring as the artificial bait podcast. But we both of you, me and you, have been doing a bit of fly fishing recently, so it's worth mentioning.
Yeah, definitely. I think we can dip into fly fishing.
Yeah.
Because we're not. Let's just face it. We're not exactly doing the traditional way.
No, exactly.
But it's all about promoting angling with lures, whether they be fly,
Yeah.
hard baits, or whatever.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was cool.
So yeah, Fly Fest, and just carrying on really. I've been still doing the tattooing, obviously dipping in and out. I've done some tattoos on you over the past few months, and then recently the pike fishing has blown up at Hannifield. There's been pike getting caught all over the place.
Yeah, it's been good, isn't it?
Yeah, it's good.
Yeah.
So it's all good and nice, and although I'm very tired all the time, I'm enjoying it.
Cool.
You've been busy as well, mate.
I have. I'm trying to think back.
So what happened post September for you? I forget.
I spent a lot of time sitting on boats getting wet and cold.
Yeah.
But I did catch some clonking fish. So I suppose first thing we need to talk about is UK Lure Series.
UK Lure Series, yeah.
I wasn't going to enter it, to be honest with you, but I had a monster chub in the summer. And I had a measure. And when I say I didn't, I entered it, carried a card thinking I might not do it. Might not do it.
Yeah.
Bought this monster chub. It went £6.10. For a summer chub is huge. It was 59 centimetres. The photographs don't do the shape of it justice.
Yeah,
because it looks
stocky
quite
fish.
empty. Even though I look at it now, I think that can't have gone 6.10, but it was so wide. And when I won't tell the tale now because it'll take too long, but the visual way I caught it, I didn't see it, but as the lure hit the water, the plop, this big shadow turned and followed it. The whole thing was amazing. It's still imprinted on my memory.
Brilliant.
So when I got that one, I thought, well, I've got to make a bit of an effort. So ironically, I had some quite big zander beforehand, didn't measure them.
Yeah.
So I had several nice pike. Obviously, I had the monster pike, which was before the comp started, which
Yeah.
would have been very nice to have entered. But I did
Yeah.
manage some decent ones. So I had some decent pike. 112, I think, was the longest. I had 110s, 111s, 112s. Couldn't get a real big one. Did try for a bit and then change focus. I had some nice perch. I had quite a few. I had at least 450s.
Wow.
Yeah. So I thought, well, I might as well enter. Then bugger me, trying to catch a zander. I kept catching loads of little ones, but
Yeah.
I got there in the end. Yeah, so I won the UK Lure Series for second year running.
Congratulations.
Thank you. Trophies will be coming soon, I do believe. So it's a shame we can't show them today, but by episode 5, we should have them.
Yeah.
There's a reason I say it, because you'll notice we're not changing T-shirts for the first 4 episodes. There's a clue there.
Yeah.
And yeah, then obviously I'm actually going to enter again this year because I actually want to try and win it 3 years running, and then I'm going to stop. But I want to catch 3 meters 20. I've got this in my head now.
Yeah.
I need a 120 pike, which I think for the
It's a
UK
monster.
I had a 119 that I measured 2 years ago. So I reckon I can get a 120. If I can get a 120 pike, I'll get 320, and then I can leave it.
Yeah.
And then say, right, that's
That part being done.
that's the measure total
Yeah.
to beat. Because
Yeah.
I think I got 315 the first year,
Yeah.
not including the trout because trout were in it.
Yeah.
It got a bit confusing. So that's my plan for that. But this thing, I'm really proud of.
Yeah, and so you should be.
Yeah, so for those that can't see it, I'll probably do a close-up of that. I started doing I started doing the comp lure fishing scene about 4 years ago with Eric Edwards. Me and Eric are really good friends, but we made a decision back end of last year that we're not going to win as a team.
Yeah.
And the reason being is that we're too similar.
Yeah.
That we both fish very similar methods, which is awesome when you're on the fish. So when we came fourth in WPC, not last year, year before, we were second after the first day. And because I knew roughly where the fish were, and I was putting Eric straight on them, we were catching them instantly because we knew the methods. But when the going got tough, we had no plan B and no plan C. And that we discussed this between ourselves, and we just thought, we got no chance of winning. We not no chance. We're going to struggle to win because we're not diverse enough.
Yeah.
So we're very good friends, but we decided to fish these comps. We needed to change boat partners. So he got his mate Keith to partner with him, who actually lives near him, and they can share the travel costs.
Yeah.
And I thought, I seen it. I got to know a guy quite well beforehand who's completely different to me, and that's Dan Brackley. Now, Dan doesn't know this, so when he watches this, he's going to. I have nicknames for lots of the lure comp guys in my head that I don't tell anybody. And Dan's nickname was the Perch Warrior. Not warrior, warrior.
Warrior,
because
yeah.
he's very good at finesse methods.
Yeah.
So I always say, he's worrying those perch are going over there. So obviously all said in jest. So I knew that if I could partner with Dan, he fishes a lot differently to me. So to cut a long story short, we partnered up for WPC, and yeah, we won it. Now, I'm not going to go into great detail, but I am going to write an article that's going to go in the LES magazine.
Yeah.
That, again, won't give away the secrets. Because
No, of course.
I spent a lot of time in January working out how to catch the zander. And there was one particular way that was really good. And we caught the zander. Well, Dan caught the zander really quick in the afternoon on the first day, which gave us the win. But it's by pooling ideas and methods, we were able to work it out real quick.
Well, for a first-time partnering for a comp, to win it is incredible.
Yeah, I mean, there was obviously I know Grafton really well.
Yeah.
But I did spend an inordinate amount of time in January working out the zander because I was really confident getting the perch and the pike. But pike in March, when a third of the resi's cut off, is a bit difficult. But if it hadn't been so cold, we would have caught one. The interesting thing from that was, though, Charlie, was the Wednesday before, I was out doing a recce in sleet and snow, and I'm not joking, I nearly got hypothermic. I was out there for 8 hours, and I wouldn't give up until I found out where the perch had moved to.
Yeah.
And I don't know how many people would have done that. After 6 hours, I still didn't know where they were.
Yeah.
And I just keep going. And at this point, I was shivering.
Yeah.
Even, with snow, you don't get cold, but when it turns to sleet, it gets in, and it gets in everywhere. And because you're looking at your screens driving around, you end up facing it a lot of the time. And my snood was soaked, everything, it just got in.
Yeah.
And I found these fish, and I couldn't believe it. I was over the moon. And on the Saturday morning of the comp, this was even more bizarre. It was really cold. Both my lithium batteries I thought were playing up. And Dan doesn't know this, but complete schoolboy error. I'd found out since the clips off my bow mount had worked loose. So both the connections were dodgy. And they would engage, or one of them disengaged just by the wire moving. But the bizarre thing is, his dad had a boat next to us. We got their battery onto the boat, and we checked all this, and it worked perfectly. So we thought the lithiums were playing up, which they weren't. So the reason I mention this is I knew where this perch pod were. We shot out straight to it, and as we got there, the bow mount disengaged. It was like, no. So a boat came in, because you get followed. A boat came in behind, and I don't think they knew what we were trying to find. But they literally stopped where I needed to stop, and they were right on this pod of perch.
Oh, no.
We managed 2, but if we'd have been on that pod, first hour, we'd have got 3 out, and that would have been even better. But but Dan, bless him, was trying to restart the lithiums. Oh God, it just shows that with your kit, putting on and off these boats, you have to double check, triple check. And there's always something that will go wrong. But we got there in the end. Yeah, I won't go into great detail, because I'm going to write this article about it, which people can read. But yeah, so first time together, we won that, which was great. But off that now, we've got to repeat the success. So we've got Pipe Maniacs coming up soon, which I want to do. Pittsford, which I fish 5 times. I'm not very good on Pittsford because I don't feel in tune with the water. But Dan can be the captain. He knows it really well. and I can sharpshoot
be the
from
co-angler,
I can be at the front smashing them out. So I'm really confident we're going to do well in that one. We're going to do Perch Mania together, which really confident with that one as well. So hopefully we'll be both those two. We need to get on the podiums really because not being big-headed, but individually we're more than capable.
Yep.
And we gelled really well, WPC as a team.
I remember you saying to me, it was just very natural. You just both worked together really well, and you both understood what you was both saying. Because people don't often appreciate it, but just you go fishing with anyone. That's true. You can go fishing with anyone, but when you're fishing a competition and you have to work as one. And very often the ego gets in the way, personality gets in the way. But when you can just talk to someone straight and they understand what you're saying straight away, it's quite a rare thing. And I remember you saying after that weekend, you came off and said it was brilliant because we just got each other.
Yeah,
we understood what needed to be done, by who and when. No ego, no personality got in the way. It was just performance, and it worked.
Well, I'm not going to go into too much detail, but the Zan is a classic example. Dan's better at that pelagic method than I am.
Yeah. I
knew how to catch them because I've been sussing it out in January. I stopped fishing. He panicked a little bit. I said, "No, you've got this."
Yeah.
But I said, "We need a pike. I'm going to do something." And also, it made the one presentation far more effective. That's what I'm going to say. So he had a bit of panic on his face for 2 or 3 minutes, and I explained it to him, and he got it.
Yeah.
And that helped us catch even quicker. And I was doing something different to try and basically fluke a little pike out because I knew roughly how I could catch one, but it was doing something completely different. But how many teams would have done that?
Yeah, exactly.
But it was, we just gelled with all of it, and it worked really well. And we had a right laugh as well. And I remember Daniel Salida, who I'd rate as the best comp angler that we got. He put a message on one of the Facebook posts saying that. He said, "I knew you were going to win because you were so relaxed and calm and having fun at the beginning of the event."
Yeah.
And no stress.
That's the way it should
And then
be.
you can maximise.
Yeah, that's the way it should be.
Because your biggest enemy is the time.
100%.
So you're maximising as much as you can.
Brilliant.
And we made loads of mistakes. That was the interesting thing. So we talked about it end of the first day.
Debriefed it,
yeah, second day. And we know we can get better, which it's got to be scary for the guys because we're just dipping our toes into it at the minute,
it's brilliant.
which is good. But really pleased with that. So that's a
well done.
classic. What else have I done? Oh, and obviously I went to Sweden.
Yep.
That's why I got some of these baits. These are handmade jerk baits. That one's made by Anders. That's a very... Well, you've seen those ones working, haven't you? They've got amazing action in the water. And this was made by, I forgot, Bromberg is the surname. I'll think of his first name in a minute, but really nice. But the reason I mention those is because we have these now. So I managed to acquire some of these Wolf Creek rods while I was in Sweden, and they somehow found their way back with me. So I think we'll do a shameless plug.
Yeah.
You run a company called Hook Me Up.
I do.
And I've now become involved with it.
Yes.
Yeah.
And he's going to be doing some help with us. He's going to be our man behind the social media, especially, and other things as well. So this is our first step into new territory. So there'll be some media. I'll give you more details, but at the moment we've got 2 models of these Wolf Creek pike cross musky rods. Mainly they're built with pike in mind, but will also be marketed as sort of musky rods.
Well, what they've done, so they're pike rods,
Yeah.
but because they have input into the American market, they've tagged the musky on the end.
Yeah.
You couldn't use this one with musky baits; it would be too light. But it's perfect. This is 8 foot, and it throws it's got up to 3.5 ounces. So
100 grams. Isn't it?
yeah, so it's ideal for your 15 to 20 centimetre shads that you're chucking on the resis or wherever. Works perfectly well. I've got BFT on this one, but it works perfectly with any sort of medium-sized bait casting reel. So that's that one, and that retails at $260. This one's got the rod sleeve on. It's 8'6". This is the bigger version. So this will throw your bigger baits, probably up to 30 centimeters. But the 25 centimeters, the big baits that people normally throw in this country, it is awesome. And we'll show you a little clip with that working in a few secs, but that's $260 as well, and we've only got a limited number. And I can tell you now they'll never be this cheap again, because obviously we don't need to go into details, but we've got them here. We're in the country. I think we've got 2 of each for the time being. 3 of that one.
Oh,
and we've already sold 2 of the.
That's right. Yeah.
So we had 3 of each, and the 8 footer 2 have gone already before we even promoted them.
Yep.
So we've got 1 left of the 8-footer. We've got 3 of the 8.6, which I've got one of those as well. So we've got 3 others that are ready to go.
So obviously these aren't really something that people know a lot about. So very quickly, let's cut to the video.
Right, guys, here we have the first rod in the Wolf Creek range. This is the lighter version. It's the 8-foot. It throws baits up to about 100 grams. I've got a 25 centimetre shad on here with only a 7 gram nose weight. So this is probably top end of what you want to be throwing. And it is effortless. You just load the rod, let it go. And this is the type of rod that you could use all day for your shad fishing for pike. It's just such a light rod. It's a joy to use. So we don't have many left, 260 quid. Get them while they last. This is the heavier rod that we're stocking. This is the 8'6" version, and this throws baits up to 6 ounces. So it's for your big boys, really. Got a 25 centimetre shad on with a 7 gram nose weight. Now, using this rod, it loads it nicely, and I would say that's the lower end of the weight range you want to use. Throws it an absolute mile. You could throw really big shads up to 30 centimetres with this. This is a really light rod for the power that it's got. They're 260 quid, and we've only got 2 left in stock, so you need to be quick. Get in touch with us, and then we will send them to you.
So now you've watched that, you know a little bit more about what these rods are and what they're for and what they do and the specs and how they're built. They are listed on the Hook Me Up website, which you can find in the link below. We'll put it in the description of the video. They're obviously not a cheap thing to post, and you know it is one of those things. If you would prefer to collect them and not have to worry about them being shipped, you can pick them up from me here at Hanningfield, or even potentially from my tattoo shop in Southend. So there's other options. So if you
meet me at the venue, so because
Andy's out and about all the time, so you know if you're at one of the big resis or anywhere, he can meet you there, save posting and worry about any of that. So if you are interested in them and don't want them posted, just drop myself or Andy a message and we can do that. Or if you just want to have a feel of them first, drop us something fell off then. What was that?
I don't know.
One of the shads. It's pulled the wire with it.
I thought I normally have ghosts in my house.
It's
Ghost.
Hanningfield ghosts. So if you want to have a play with them and feel with them before you purchase one, drop us a message.
But if you get a backlash on my reel, you're in trouble.
That's it.
That's the only downside. Yeah. No, but you can have a little play if you find, particularly getting to September, they'll be gone. So if you get in touch with me or Charlie, then if we can let you have a cast or 2, wherever we are.
But this is just a start, isn't it? This is just us dipping our toe, as we've been doing a lot recently.
These are great rods.
Yeah.
And I think there'll be a niche market in the UK for them. So I know these will go real quick because obviously I have people inquiring already. But the thing I'm really excited about is that Wolf Creek have got this perch rod, and I've been using it in Sweden as a prototype. The blank is perfect for so many things that you could use as a UK angler. Now, I'm hoping that we'll get that in September, but the way things are with still the backlash from COVID and whatever, I think it could be this time next year. But we'll be stocking them. These rods, I can't remember the exact length. It's no longer than 8 foot, but it's quite a long rod. It's not a short rod. But it's got the best way I can explain it is got a really nice stiff action, but the last section, it's got a nice tip action to it as well. And I've used it for crankbait fishing. I've used it for chatterbait fishing. You could obviously light shad work. It'd be great for on a canal for fishing for small pike, fishing for zander. It's basically, I think it's rated 5 to 30 or 10 to 30. I can't remember now. It just feels perfect. And I've used it all day for several days on the bounce. You don't even know it's in your hand.
Yeah, brilliant.
And that's the one I'm more excited about, even though I should be excited about this. I am, but because they are great to use. But that rod is, when it's just right.
Yeah.
But I can just see people using it for so many different applications. Whereas this is obviously for chucking the big lures.
Yeah, it's very specific.
It's very specific. Yeah. So once we have more news about that one, because Wolf Creek haven't got them yet.
No.
And this was the batch that came in. Because they sell out real quick as well. So, they won't have many left actually back at base in Sweden. So that's coming through Hook Me Up as well. And kind of a bit of a relaunch really with Hook Me Up. So.
So we're doing a bit of a rejig, and we're changing things up a little bit. as you all know who watch this, I'm a very busy man, so my time and what I can put into it is limited. So we're trying to streamline things a little bit, change the way it works, change the way the boxes are shipped and things like that. So we've got some new bits coming like that. You know, Hook Me Up lure boxes isn't going to be in boxes for much longer. So we've got some new packaging on the way, which is eco-friendly, recyclable, all these good things that we're trying to promote and move into fishing. I won't say too much about that because we'll talk about them when they arrive.
Yeah.
But yeah, lots of new things happening. And what we've done, the main thing I've done is I've cut the line a little bit. So I think I've knocked out about 50% of the options on the website, which seems ridiculous, but what we found was we was spreading ourselves too thin. So we're trying to streamline it a little bit and do a few things really, really, really well, and then allow it to grow a bit more organically than forcing all these different options down people's throats and things like that. But yeah, so there's lots of new and good things happening.
And last year, Dan Bucknell did a promo.
Yep.
Didn't he? Is his box still available?
His signature box is still available.
Cool.
Yep.
And so what we tend to do is, as the season gets into full flow, we'll be picking certain boxes and actually, again, flooding the social media to death and just picking up boxes, going fishing with them, and showing everybody what's available. So that's really cool as well. Now, these, if you don't know, check out the website. But these boxes are also great. I think they're great for getting youngsters into lure fishing.
Yeah.
So they get a different box every month. It makes them go out and try them. If you're a novice, it enables you to think about different methods and things that you can learn. So you can
Species, if you're maybe not a trout fisherman,
but you could
buy a trout box.
Learn how to fish Texas rig, Cheb rig, Ned rig, drop shot, all these different things.
Yep.
And all the other various combinations that are popping out all over the place.
Yep.
But even if you're a really experienced lure angler, I think these boxes are great because there'll be lures in the box that you've never even used and colours that you think don't work. Because I'm always amazed with using the fly and using lures how different colours do make a difference. And sometimes I get very blinkered.
Yeah.
I think, that colour's crap.
Yeah.
And then something will make me put it on something completely bizarre and the response is instant.
Yeah.
So I think if you had a subscription box coming through, it would really open your mind about different baits, colours.
100%. And the other thing, which is one I've struggled with a little bit to sort of reach the right people, but the other thing they're fantastic for is gifts.
Yeah.
You know, so if you know an angler or someone that wants to get into fishing, they're a great birthday present, Christmas present, Father's Day, Mother's Day, whatever you want.
Happy Lure Box Day.
Happy Lure Box Day.
We should start
Happy
that off.
anniversary.
You get Bank Holiday Monday for Happy Lure Box
Happy
Day.
Lure Box Day. But the difficulty we've got that is the people that we speak to through our social media know about it already.
Yeah.
What you need to do is tell your partners, tell your brothers, your sisters, your mums, your dads, your wives, your girlfriends, your husbands, your boyfriends, whoever it may be, your kids, whoever it is. Tell them, do you know what I'd really like for my birthday this year? A box from Hook Me Up.
Yeah. And that actually another thing, because Charlie needs to reach for a rod. While he reaches for the rod, I should also mention that make sure you subscribe to the channel. Obviously, this is going out on Fed and Fishing TV. So you need to subscribe to the channel because you'll see all the lure podcasts that are coming out. We're going to try and change it so it's not just for anglers. You'll see how there's a subtle changes as we go through the episodes. But also, we'll keep dropping in different ideas so you can actually make sure you share the channel with your friends and say, well, look at this. This is a good idea. And this is where you can get the lure box from. So,
what's something we're going to try to do when we say do things differently? It's rather than just me and you here talking about lures and rods and fishing, which is fantastic. We're going to try to introduce some products in more ways than others. So, a lot of the time it'll be, look at this nice new lure that's just come onto the scene, or reel or rod, like we've done with the Wolf Creek lures. But in other times we're going to go the other way. We're going to look back at classics and things that.
Well, one of our guests, if we get him on, but the podcast will be 2 hours long. But also, we're going to get him to bring some old school lures in that one.
So there's a lot of that. We're going to look backwards and look at some of the classics that may have been forgotten. Would they still work now? Things like that. But I recently moved house, and in doing so, had to pack up my ridiculous hoard of fishing gear. Which, for anyone interested, I recently counted how many fishing rods I've got, and it's over 250.
I thought I had a lot. I haven't got
disgusting. That many. I don't need 250, but I like having 250. Anyway, one of the things, one of my the arm of my fishing gear that is my most prized. Everything else could be burnt, and I wouldn't care. These ones are what my granddad gave me. So when my granddad became too ill to carry on fishing, I inherited his stuff, and I'd rather be homeless than have to sell this gear.
Wow.
That's how much I cherish it. But this one's a bit of a mystery to me, because my granddad was primarily a fly angler, which is how I was first introduced to Hanningfield. He brought me here at a very young age. He had a permit. I should have brought that. I've got a permit that he had here for 1980. That he was a permit holder here at Hanningfield in 1980. So my roots with Hanningfield go deep. But anyway, this is one of the things I found, and I'm sure we was probably more similar than I was ever aware, because he used to buy a lot of things and never use it, which is exactly what I do. And this is a House of Hardy rod. I've got numerous House of Hardy fly rods that he had, but this isn't a fly rod. This is a spinning rod, a lure rod. So this is called a Fibrolite spinning.
Look at the rings on it. That's amazing.
It's an 8.5 foot rod. It genuinely looks like it's never been used, which wouldn't surprise me. We'll try and maybe get some close-ups of this, but on the end there's like a rubber butt cap that, very soon those perish and wear. You can still see all the writing. It says Hardy's of Alnwick. It's got the stainless reel seat with made by Hardy's England engraved into it. There's lots of cool things going on with it. I would expect it was probably marketed as a salmon rod, being Hardy. That was a game fishing brand. It's got a serial number on it. I've tried to find it online and Google it to roughly work out how old it was, but I couldn't. So if there's any Hardy game specialists out there, or spinning rod specialists that might be able to age this rod for me, I'd never sell it, but I'd like to know a bit more about its history and how old it was, and how long it ran for as a model, and stuff like that. But it's genuinely brand new. I doubt if there's ever been a reel on that reel seat.
It looks absolutely mint new, doesn't it? Yeah.
But I'm going to use it.
And it's fiberglass, isn't it?
Fiberglass,
yeah, because we had it out the other day, and it's as sloppy as hell because it's fiberglass.
Yeah.
But you've got to catch a pike on this, mate.
I'm gonna find it. I'm going to source a reel that will suit it, similar sort of age.
Mitchell.
Yeah, an old Mitchell.
Mitchell coffee grinder.
Yeah. I'm going to chuck that on it. I'm going to catch
Abu.
one pike on it, and I'm going to put it away, and it's never going to come out of the bag ever again.
You need
and then one day my grandchildren will take it out and go, "Oh, look at this rod that Granddad had." But yeah, so I thought that was really cool. It was a nice bit of history, and a quality piece of equipment that even I would dread to think how old it is. Maybe the 60s or 70s, I would think. But I'm gonna try even the joints where it slides over the end of the rod. There's no markings.
No,
it's
there's
like the rod was barely ever put together.
That's crazy.
So I am going to use it. I'm going to catch a pike on it, and I'm going to put it away again.
That's fantastic, isn't it? That's a nice contrast, isn't it, between the
It's
very
brand
new,
modern, and old technologies come together. But for an old rod, it's still very light in the hand. It doesn't feel heavy.
No, it doesn't. No, because fiberglass was like, oh, that's cool.
Yeah, so that's something we're going to try and do. We're going to try and pull these little cool bits out of our back pockets and have a little chat about them.
Yeah, but the problem is, it comes quite. We do things that are relevant to us. And this is where we need you guys to help, isn't it? Because it becomes far better when you guys get involved. And some of you last year were brilliant. So send us in your comments.
Yeah.
Send us in your old Hardy rods that you don't want.
Yeah, if anyone's got any old Marquise reels knocking about that you don't want anymore, just send them over.
No, but honestly, just get in touch with us and point us in directions where you want us to go. Have you got some stuff you want to send in? Obviously, we'll post it back. The Robinson Lair from Paul Bickley.
Yep.
Bickley, yeah. So obviously we just posted that back. That was amazing, wasn't it? So we want to just make this as a community based as possible. Yeah. But Charlie, you have got to catch a pike on it. It's got to be a double.
Yeah.
So it actually puts a nice fighting curve in the rod.
Bend it over. Yeah.
And you've got to do it here, haven't you?
I think so. Yeah, I think so. It'd be nice. It would be a nice big full circle if I could.
Could be a lot of casting, mate.
It could be a lot of casting. Yeah. Yeah.
Oh, that's perfect. Right, we didn't want to make the first episode too long, and we probably have.
Yeah, so the first episode is really just a re-intro, quick catch-up what we're doing, a little bit of a taster of what we're going to be doing this season in regards to some different bits and pieces, but not giving away too much. But yeah, just a very quick, we're back, we're here, we're doing it again.
Cool. Don't miss episode 2. We have a guest. We're not going to tell you who it is. And we have a quiz.
A quiz.
Yeah, we're really pushing out the boat. Right, guys, thanks for joining us.
Cheers,
See you
guys.
soon for episode 2.
Thanks for watching.